Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to your YouTube live stream today. Unedited, uncensored, and raw. Only the bare facts and the exposed truth, just like the rest of our videos today. These are the most common questions asked by many people regarding citizenships and passports as part of their Plan B or even sometimes as Plan A. What is the fastest residency to citizenship program? What country gives me the fastest citizenship? Which European country is the easiest to get citizenship? Well, that's what we're covering today in our comparison between the European region and other countries like Canada and other regions, which can give you the citizenship you want in the easiest, hassle-free, painless manner as much as possible. There's a lot of articles out there. There's a lot of rankings out there on which one is the best one, which one is the easiest one. But there's a lot of points that are missing. These details that are you've got to read between the lines. And we're covering them in a practical way today in terms of what is attainable in terms of fast and easy or more flexible citizenship. Quick introduction. My name is Reza, founder of Ingwe Immigration, your gateway to international secure low risk investments, alternative residencies, and citizenships. We have an active portfolio of more than 20 countries across the world, whether it's for residency, citizenships, ROI on investments for real estate. Our team is licensed both in real estate and residency citizenship programs. We work with both B2B channels in terms of businesses or partners and individual clients and families as investors, meaning we cooperate with financial and investment advisors, real estate brokerages, and directly as well with yourselves if you're an investor or an applicant. At Ingwe, we've successfully helped thousands of applicants and families since 2018. Our existing portfolio includes Europe, Central America, North America, the Caribbean islands, and even New Zealand. Whether you're seeking to invest in real estate, aiming to retire comfortably, enhance your quality of life with positive cash flow, find crypto-friendly tax countries, find better healthcare or maybe future education for your children, and or even acquire direct citizenship without even moving anywhere, and fast-track residencies, whether it's for yourself, your clients, future generations, or your family, or sometimes even for your parents or those single siblings that, you're taking care of. We're not a typical sales company. We educate you, provide you the resources, guide you, and help you with all your options based on risk, returns, and matching your short, medium, and long-term goals. You can consider us as a custom solution provider. Our global partnerships and multilingual team ensures that no matter where you're coming from or where you're planning to invest in or go, you'll have seamless support from me, my team, and our experience and expertise over the years. If you want to ask us questions, engage with our office in Panama or Canada, make sure you visit our website. And we're always traveling through your regions because we always have investor trips and other events that we participate in, and we would love to meet you face to face. There are hundreds of articles online claiming to provide you the right advice in terms of fast and easy citizenships. You've read them, I've read them, we've seen them all. They rank countries in terms of fastest citizenships without considering the language barriers, or perhaps not everyone has ancestral ties to Portugal, Luxembourg, Greece, or Italy for fast and easy citizenship, right? I wish I did. I've been looking for a quick and fast, less painful path for citizenship for myself and found the hard way that there's a lot of details which are not published out there, which applicants need to consider before making an informed decision. I've listed some of these, let's say, pain points that I see lacking. Many countries require language and cultural exam before applying for citizenships, and the difficulty level can vary. I found this challenging for countries such as Greece, Cyprus, Hungary, and Bulgaria, unless you already know the language a bit. Otherwise, for me or maybe some other applicants or families, it's a bit unrealistic learning that language at our age. Many countries have strict residency requirements before being eligible to becoming a citizen, right? For example, Italy requires 10-year residency before being eligible for citizenship if you don't have ancestral ties to the country. I mean, I love Italy, but I don't think I'll be living there 10 years. The UK is 6 years residency. Spain is 10 years, and Greece is 7 years with continued residency. All great places, but, It has its limitations. Many countries will consider you a tax resident after residing in that jurisdiction for as long as it requires to become a citizen, which could also be a disadvantage if you don't really want to become a tax resident of that jurisdiction, if they don't have favorable personal income taxes for you. Many of the rankings of the easiest and fastest citizenship programs that we've seen online, you've seen them, we've read them, we watched them, are misleading or have incorrect information. Okay, they're not practical. Okay, many of the countries that are easy and fast, such as buying your citizenship and passport through a donation or investment, are very small islands where most applicants would not want to reside in full time. Okay, you know that's a given. Obviously, there are the citizenship by investment programs for the Caribbean islands. We offer them as well, but are you going to live there? No, probably not, right? So those are also disadvantages. Remember, we're always posting about key details for investors, entrepreneurs, families on new programs, policy changes, seeking positive ROI for their investments, whether it's tax relief, residencies, or passport. And if that's what you're interested in, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel because it's free. If someone's looking for a truly powerful passport without the need to learn another language or reside in another country full time, there was literally only one choice before, up to May 2025. This was Malta. Through its fast track citizenship program, allowing applicants to obtain a full EU member passport within 12 to 14 months without residing in the country full time or any language or cultural exam. This was the most popular program for Americans who were looking for fast and easy citizenships outside of the typical programs out there where you need to live and reside in a jurisdiction for a longer time. After the EU court shut the Malta citizenship program this past few months, there's no more EU passport programs without at least a language exam or some residency. The second best option in the EU for citizenship without the requirement to reside full-time was Portugal. It still is, but it was a 5-year citizenship pathway, and it was the fastest, most flexible pathway for EU citizenship besides Malta under its golden visa program. Unfortunately, that may be coming to an end very soon this year because the government of Portugal has tabled a new bill on June 25th, 2025, to extend the eligibility for citizenship to 10 years from 5 years, which makes it very comparable to Spain, Spain, Bulgaria, and Italy in terms of the citizenship timelines, losing that advantage that Portugal was offering to its golden visa investors. Considering the current regulations as of this summer in 2025 for all these programs in countries around the world, there's only 5 countries which have the most flexible citizenship programs in the world, excluding the Caribbean islands, which we've written separately about and done several lives and videos that don't fall in this category, but they're the very quick and easy option for professionals, families looking for hassle-free dual citizenship within 6 to 8 months. But that's a different story. The top 5 countries in 2025 for the fastest and most realistic citizenships for countries you could actually reside in, I'm not talking about the islands, and in terms of being easy and hassle-free are Portugal, still, Panama, Canada, and I'll tell you why. You'll think I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy. Well, at least not on Thursdays. Uruguay, yeah. You're like, where? Uruguay? Yeah, Uruguay and New Zealand. Okay, each one has its own perks and obviously disadvantages, and yeah, they're not on your typical citizenship passport list, and I'll tell you why, and we'll rank them according to the most important 10 criteria. What are those 10 criteria? Timeline to becoming a citizen. That's important. How long does it take? How easy is it to apply to become a citizen of that country? Language and cultural exams and all that, right? That's important, right? Because I can't learn every language in the world. Residency requirements to becoming citizen. So if it takes 3, 5, 6, 7 years or 1 year, how long do I need to live there permanently or semi-permanently to become eligible? Cost of obtaining a residency without ancestral ties or family ties, right? Like you're basically buying yourself into the program. Is the cost of becoming a resident an investment or an unrecoverable fee or donation, right? If I'm just donating like $100,000 or $200,000, or is it an actual tangible investment I will own and there's ROI and I have a way of getting my money back? In how many additional jurisdictions or countries can one reside in full time as a result of holding that citizenship for this other country that we're talking about, these top five? Access to visa-free countries. Where can you travel visa-free without worrying of getting a visa before you go to these, to Europe, UK, Canada, US, Australia, Singapore, Hong Kong, or other countries? Low personal income tax and flexible taxation regulations, right? It's great to become a citizen of a country, but what if you get hit with more taxes when you become a full-time resident, or if you do become one, or if you become a citizen? Political stability, yeah, that's important, right? Because you don't want to be in this area where there's political instability. And global reputation of the country and the passport, right? That's important. You want to have a good reputation. You're literally holding the flag every time you show your passport, traveling in different countries around the world. So you want to be representing a pretty, let's say, neutral, stable, and nice, reputed country. We've got a table that we're going to post on our website, and we're going to go over it, right? So time to citizenship, we've got 5 countries. Canada is 3 years, which is quite amazing. Portugal is 5 years for now, and Panama is 5 years. Uruguay is 3 years if you're non-single, meaning you're with a family, and New Zealand is 4. Citizenship exam requirements. Well, in Canada, you take a 20-question multiple choice about the history and culture. It's in English or French, so it's pretty easy. You have a little booklet, you memorize it, done. It's simple. As long as you know English or French, at least English is fine. Portugal, you need to take a Portuguese language requirement. I'm not sure if it was a B1 level. I'll mention that in our article when we're posting it. In Panama, it's a cultural exam about the Panama history. It's in Spanish, but the questions and exam questions and answers are the same for 20 years. So, I'm just giving you some hints here. Uruguay, it's very simple. It's just ties to the country. There's no language requirements. There is a interview in Spanish, and then New Zealand, there's a general exam in English, right? Not a language exam. It's more about cultural and history. Mandatory residency requirements for citizenship. It's 3 years in Canada, right? So 3 out of 5 years. And in Portugal, it's 45 days in 5 years. And that's according to the current existing regulations under the Golden Visa program, not other programs. In Panama, it's 1 day every 2 years. In Uruguay, there cannot be an absence of 6 months or more at any time consecutively, meaning you can probably come in twice a year. And in New Zealand, you do need 4 out of 6 years to reside to become a citizen. Cost to become a permanent resident. Well, in Canada, startup visa, you're looking around 250,000 Canadian. In the Portuguese program, 500,000 euros in an investment fund. And in Panama, it's 300,000 US in a real estate project, or you can either do 200,000 if you're from North America, let's say US or Canadian citizen, UK, Europe, or from the friendly nations countries. Could be even Taiwan, South Korea, Japan, Singapore, right? And Uruguay is 85,000. And New Zealand, it's about 2.7 million US, which is 5 million New Zealand dollars. Is the cost of an investment recoverable, or it's just fees? Well, in Canada, you do the startup visa program. It's very unlikely you'll recover because it's a startup investment. You're not going to get it back. In Portugal, it's an investment fund. So it's relatively secure, and there's a lock-in period in a lot of them where you will, it's financially structured that you have a high likelihood of getting your money back and getting an ROI as well. Real estate in Panama, so you own it. In Panama, you own it outright, the real estate investment you're making for that residency. In Uruguay, the 85,000 just fees. So there's not much to get back in terms of assets. And in New Zealand, it's an investment, either into a venture capital fund, venture fund, or you can invest at a higher thresholds and do real estate development. Are there additional countries for which residency access as a citizen of this country gives you? Canada, no. Portugal citizen, yes. 27 EU countries, you can actually become a full-time resident of any of these 27 EU countries. Panama, well, you have access to 6 Latin American countries which have reciprocal agreements where you can apply to become a resident of those because you're citizen of that country, Panama. And Uruguay, no. And New Zealand, yeah, it's a two for one. You can live in Australia as a citizen of New Zealand full time, doing anything you want. And Australians can do the same in New Zealand. Access to countries for visa free travel, 184 countries, including US, is for Canada. So Canadian passport is very powerful. Portugal is even more powerful. 188 countries visa free. Panama over 140 countries, right, including Europe, UK, and Uruguay is 156 countries with the passport, and New Zealand 187 countries visa free. Well, how are the personal income taxes? Well, in Canada it's pretty high. However, you could become a non-resident after you become a citizen, meaning you don't owe taxes to the government after you've cleared your debt at the point of becoming non-resident. Portugal, they're pretty medium, right? European typical tax rates, so they're not low. However, there are specific tax regimes that we've covered, like the NHR 2.0, and specific occupations we get advantages for taxation. Panama is 100% tax-free for all globally sourced income, no matter what. Uruguay, it's a tax 7% flat tax regime for foreign income. And in New Zealand, is medium. You can become a non-resident after becoming a permanent resident and not pay taxes. So even before you become a citizen. But yeah, and usually in English speaking countries, there's always decent taxes. Political stability. Well, Canada is very stable until and unless our neighbors in the US want to take us over, but it's okay. Don't worry. Good stability in Portugal, because the only reason I'm saying good is it's part of the EU. So you're as strong as the weakest link in your union, right? So it is strong, but you are part of the EU, and you're sitting right next to Ukraine and Russia, and there's obviously things going on there. So I'm giving it a good, not a high. Panama's medium stability, so it's because it's the Panama Canal, it's in the best interest of the world that it stays stable. Uruguay is relatively stable for the region, so it's probably ranking a little lower than the rest of the five. And New Zealand is extremely stable. It's probably the most stable country on our list today. Global reputation for these countries if you become a citizen. Well, Canada, extremely high. We haven't invaded any countries to piss anyone off recently. Um, and of course, Portugal, extremely high. Everyone loves Portugal. Come on, give me a break here. Panama, relatively good. Besides the Panama Papers from 9 years ago, uh, everyone's pretty good with Panama. Like they have good relations with the whole world, like literally, because of the Panama Canal. They have to, right? And the world has to. Decent. And what about Uruguay? It's decent, but relatively unknown country in the global citizenship space. So if you got Uruguay citizenship, I mean, nobody really knows. It's not bad. It's not good. It's neutral. And New Zealand, extremely high. It ranks the best reputation on our list today. I would say New Zealand, Portugal, Canada, top three, and then Panama, and then Uruguay. And of course, little known facts about these five easy countries that offer hassle-free, practical citizenship paths. Okay, it's Canada. Canada has the fastest citizenship pathway among all the G7 countries, compared to France, US, Italy, Japan, UK, and Germany, allowing applicants to become eligible in 3 years of residency. And that's a little known fact. Like, wow, that's pretty fast for a country like that as being part of the G7. The exact citizenship requirement is 3 out of 5 years, non-consecutively, to live there. And the start of Visa Business Immigration Program allows applicants from overseas to apply for direct PR to Canada with their dependent spouse and children under the age of 22. It allows the family to enter Canada as a permanent resident after 3.5 years, or obtain an optional 3-year open work permit to stay inside Canada during the processing time. The amount of time the applicant spends inside Canada before the permanent resident can actually give them a discount of up to 1 year from the 3-year citizenship pathway, meaning you spend 2 years in Canada, you get a 1 year credit. It's half a day for every 1 day for maximum credit 1 year as part of your citizenship discount. Pretty nifty. The Canadian citizenship requires a police check, proof of language, English or French, unless you studied in an English curriculum educational program, and proof of residency that you lived there 3 out of 5 years and you filed your taxes. Canada is rarely on the top 5 list of any fast citizenship ranking program, as it's always misunderstood or not in the media as much promoted by other investment migration citizenship firms. That's fine. Portugal, we've got the Golden Visa, which is a 500,000 euro investment in a registered Golden Visa fund in Portugal, which has 60% of its investment in Portuguese companies, whether private or listed. You only need to spend 35 days in or 45 days in 5 years. You don't need to live there, become a tax resident to become eligible for citizenship. You do need to take up language exam um, in Portugal when you want to become a citizen, and you can do a pathway. So you can spend a few months there doing a pathway instead of taking an outright exam, right? The Golden Visa gives you full flexibility of temporary residency that can lead to permanent residency in 5 years. Okay, you do get access to healthcare. You can include your parents. You can include your dependent children as well. And if you've got children that are even up to the age of 25, but they're single and financially dependent, still possible. And the Portuguese citizenship gives you access to 27 EU countries. And this is the major point, that it is one of the best passports compared to the rest of the passports you can just buy outright in the citizenship world, right? Which passport actually gives you the option of living in 27 different countries? That's what it means. Panama, well, we like Panama because it takes 90 days and you get a residency. Canada, well, a residency to lead to citizenship. Canada, it takes about 3.5 years to become permanent resident. Portugal, it's taking a year approximately under the Golden Visa scheme. Panama takes 90 days. You can't really find anything faster than that. At least it's in our top two right now. The citizenship is in 5 years. You become a permanent resident in 90 days, and by holding real estate investment, could be residential, land, property, offices, villas, apartments, you name it. There's no restrictions as long as the title is in your name. Could be even pre-construction, and the pre-construction is companies issuing you an investment certificate that you've invested in full, and you qualify for the Golden Visa or Qualified Investor Program. The citizenship residency requirements is one day in every 2 years. And we suggest that at the end of the 5 years, you come and spend about 4 months in Panama and take the cultural exam, which is the same questions and exam for 20 years. So we'll give you all the questions and answers, and then apply for your citizenship. Pretty easy. Uruguay. Well, this is a straightforward program. There's no investment. The Uruguayan citizenship is regulated not by a specific program, but through the regulation 16.021. And it's within the constitution, which distinguishes between natural by birth, by legal by naturalization citizens. In 2015, by a levy, extended the natural citizenship to grandchildren of Uruguayans as well. So basically, what it means is that it's just a program where you apply to become a resident. Okay, there's no specific investment or scheme or running a business or doing anything fancy. Overall, all the costs and fees are 85,000. You need to show ties to Uruguay, and you cannot be absent for more than 6 months at a time. Meaning, you probably have to come in for 1 or 2 weeks twice a year, right? And you have to show ties, and that will be handled by the local Uruguay partners, right? The service provider, memberships, associations, and so forth. And then you will have an interview in Spanish at the citizenship. There's no language or cultural exam. They go on a Spanish language interview, must provide integration through documentation, local witnesses, which we also take care of. Okay, but it's the cheapest program, and it's outside of everyone's, let's say, the limelight. So it is under the radar. New Zealand, wow, this is a great program. Although it takes time for citizenship, you can become a permanent resident of New Zealand within 4 years by only living there 3 months in 4 years. You get permanent residency. So why am I talking about PR versus citizenship? Well, it takes 4 to 6 years, 4 out of 6 years to live in New Zealand to become a citizen. But with a permanent residency, which you can obtain in 4 years by only living there 3 months, non-consecutively, you get a lifetime PR. This is the only lifetime PR that exists on the planet Earth, meaning there's no renewals. You never have to, after you become a PR, you never have to go back. It's always in your pocket, and you can go back and be a permanent resident anytime you want. You don't even need to pay taxes if you choose to leave after you become a PR. So that's why it's on our top list, because the permanent residence, in a way, almost gives you like a little mini citizenship. And I like that, because if you do choose to go back, become a citizen 4 out of 6 years, and there's a basic historical cultural exam. You can also live in Australia as a citizen of New Zealand full time. And that's what we mean. What are some notable mentions that we didn't mention in this article? Well, Malta, it had the citizenship. It's coming back soon with new regulations, new investment amounts. So let's watch out for that. UK is coming up with their new startup or tier one investment program for higher investment thresholds to obtain residency, but it takes up to 6 years to become a citizen in UK. Argentina is doing its own citizenship by investment program at 500,000 US dollars. Great passport, a lot of flexibility, visa free, but of course it's a high price tag for a South American passport, but it is attractive to many. And the Caribbean islands, of course, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts Nevis, St. Lucia, Grenada, Dominica. Who can forget them? And of course, Nauru in the Micronesia region and southeast or west Pacific Ocean. I guess I don't know if it's east or west. I got to fix my geography. And Cyprus. The only issue is you got to take a language exam. And, it's a great island. Quality of life and food is amazing. But how many people can learn the language and spend the time there to get the citizenship? But it is pretty good. If you like international investment hacks, creative residency citizenship solutions, or key analysis and the exposed truth about programs, policies, updates, and the practical aspect of it all, then you can click and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for tuning in today. If you see the potential for yourself, your family, or your neighbors, or your clients securing a second or third citizenship or residency, make sure you reach out to us. We customize the solution. So we're not a typical company, just cookie cutter stuff. We've given you all the upfront processes, payment milestones, and peace of mind. We provide transparency, choice, and security with the comprehensive errors and omissions, professional insurance and liability insurance, client trust accounts with the North American banks, and our multilingual team speaking 10 languages, helping clients from 55 different countries. Ready to take the next step? Click the below link in this video to contact us, get on a call if you're eligible and qualified for any of the programs we offer, or even book a consultation using our consultation link here for a one-on-one session. Folks, if you had questions, tune in next week when we cover more residency and citizenship programs, and we look at it from a practical point of view, not just, hey, there's top 10 passports. I mean, you look at some of these articles and they have all these countries like Hungary and Bulgaria and Italy and Spain and Greece, and yeah, it's great, but what are the requirements? Can you meet those requirements to become a citizen? Or the Caribbean islands, those are amazing, but are you going to live in those islands? No. So everyone has their own requirements. There's a lot of detail in these citizenship programs. We're back again next Thursday, 11 a.m. North America Eastern Standard Time, to talk about the practical points about residencies to citizenship and which ones are actually practically possible. Okay. And of course, in the meantime, we're releasing a lot of videos and content on our YouTube channel you can subscribe to because it's free. You don't have to pay anything. That talks about all the programs that we have in our portfolio. If it's not in our portfolio, it means we don't actually believe in the program. I would not invest my own money there. So that's why should I offer it to you? If I don't believe in it, if I don't invest my own money, or if I won't refer a family member or relative to that program, why should I be referring to you that? And that's the ultimate test when you're talking or working with a service provider. We educate, we customize, and we make it, and we get it done. Okay? See you guys next week. Thanks again. Take care. Have a wonderful upcoming weekend.